So this is a review of the second set of headphones AKG sent over for me to check out. If you haven't seen it already, I recommend checking out my review of the first set of headphones, the K275s. With that out of the way though, let's dive in with these headphones. As you saw in the intro, this design stays true to AKG's typical headphone style and bears a lot of resemblance to the more budget K52s. For that reason, a lot of the complaints and likes from my review of those headphones still hold true. They have the same nice gunmetal black finish, the same excellent suspension headband design that means you never have to adjust the ear cups, and the nice and visible left and right markings on the inside of the ear cup. On the other hand, you also have the smaller ear cups that will smash big ears like mine. The K275s do have a few other advantages and disadvantages compared to the K52s when it comes to design. Like the K275s, they have a detachable cable that uses mini XLR. Unlike the K275s, you only get one cable and a 1/4 inch adapter in the box, but like I said in my last review, having a set of headphones that uses mini XLR means you can get fairly inexpensive custom cables from lots of sources. You also get the same nice looking but cheap feeling carrying bag as with the 371s. The headphones fold up to a quite compact size, and unlike the K275s, you don't have to detach the cable to completely fold them. Unfortunately, being compact isn't the only thing that matters when it comes to portability, and that's where we get into the downsides of these headphones. The K275s weigh a lot, and it's noticeable whether you're wearing them or holding them. At 295 grams, they weigh a whole 40 grams more than the K275s and 95 grams more than the K52s. The weight really does make these headphones harder to wear for longer periods. It also means the headphones will slide out of place pretty quickly if you tilt your head forward or backward, though the headphones are pretty secure to lateral movement. If AKG ever refreshes this model, cutting weight should be a top priority in my opinion. That about covers the design though, so let's get into the exciting stuff and talk about sound quality. The K275s are very similar to the K275s overall. They have a fairly narrow soundstage but are very bright with a lot of clarity through the mids and highs. The low-end response is a little weaker than I personally would like, which translates to a bit of honkiness or nasality in the low mids, but overall the headphones are very flat and accurate. They are certainly tuned for professional rather than audiophile listening. The noise cancellation is pretty mediocre for passive canceling headphones. The fatter and more cushioned ear cups of the K275s definitely translate to better sound isolation. All that said, I do want to complain about how AKG markets these headphones. The product page for these headphones specifically touts the 50mm driver's bass response, with the advertised frequency response being down to 16 Hz. But the fact is, bass response in headphones is basically useless below around 80 to 120 Hz. The reason is that we feel those lower frequencies in our chest more than we hear them, which is why it takes a subwoofer to fully reproduce low bass sounds. Even if AKG's headphones did have flat bass response down to below 20 Hz, which you can't be sure of based on the product page since the frequency response doesn't include a tolerance, it wouldn't give you an accurate picture of the low end. You need studio monitors and possibly a subwoofer for that. In my opinion, it's a little dishonest for AKG to market their headphones like this, but they're hardly alone in doing this, so it's more of an industry complaint than one targeted specifically at AKG. To the credit of the K275s, they do have audible bass response down to around 30 Hz, but it's not particularly useful for making mixed decisions. Still, all things considered, these are professional and accurate sounding headphones. So that brings us to the conclusion. Would I recommend these? Sadly, the answer is probably not. While the headphones are very flat and accurate, sound quality is only half the equation when it comes to professional headphones. Comfort and fit are equally important. The weight and the thin ear cups of these headphones make them very hard to endorse. If you like this headphone style, I would recommend going for something lighter like the K72 or K92 headphones. If you want something with bigger ear cups and a better fit, I'd recommend the K275s I previously reviewed or the slightly cheaper K361s. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this video, if it helped you to decide what pair of headphones you want to pick up next, hit that like button. If not, feel free to hit the dislike button. And if you want to pick up these headphones, definitely check it out via the link in the description. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down in the comment section down below. And, of course, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button.